Hi everyone, welcome back again. Today we are going to start a new, very interesting chapter. From the beginning of the humanity, it is very interesting, very important, and very easy chapter. That is gravitation. And we know that in a solar system, Sun is center. Sun is the center of the solar system, and all heavenly bodies like planets are revolving around the Sun in a path which is known as orbit. Now, what is the shape of the orbit? What is the motion of the planets? All these questions can be explained by the laws. Those laws are known as Kepler laws. Kepler given three laws for explaining the motion of the planets, which are known as Kepler's first law, Kepler's second law, and Kepler's third law. What is Kepler's first law? Kepler's first law is also known as law of orbits. What is Kepler's second law? Kepler's second law is also called law of areas. Kepler's third law is also called law of periods. Okay. Now in this video lecture, we are going to discuss a first law, that is Kepler's first law. What is Kepler's first law? Very easy. We know that Sun is the center of the solar system. All the planets are revolving around the Sun. That is, all the planets are revolving around the Sun in a path which is called orbit. Then what is the shape of the orbit? Is it circle? No, it is not a circular path. It is according to Kepler's first law, it is a elliptical orbit or a elliptical path. That is known as Kepler's first law. That is, all the planets are revolving around the Sun in an elliptical orbit, and the Sun is situated at any one focus of the ellipse. The Sun is situated at any one of the focus of the ellipse, which is known as Kepler's first law. If you see here, all the planets are revolving around the Sun in an elliptical orbit, and the Sun is situated at one focus of the ellipse. Okay, that is Kepler's first law. Now we are going to start by the geometry of the ellipse. Okay, now see, this is a shape of the ellipse. It's just like a oven or egg. Okay, the ellipse which contains two axes. The ellipse which contains two axes. One is known as minor axis. One is known as minor axis, and another one is known as major axis. Okay, another one is known as major axis. One is called minor axis, another one is called major axis. The intersection of those two axes are the center of the ellipse, which is known as center of the ellipse. I am taking O as a center of the ellipse. Okay. Now, on the major axis, I am going to take two special points. On the major axis, I am going to take two special points, which are known as foci or a focus. This is I am taking as focus 1. This is I am taking as focus 2. Means in ellipse there are two focuses which are separated. Right? How they are separated? So they are separated due to the eccentricity. That is very important term. Eccentricity. Okay? The focuses are separated due to the eccentricity. On an ellipse we have two focuses. Okay, focus 1 and focus 2. According to Kepler's, the Sun is situated at any one of the focus. The Sun is situated at any one of the focus. Either focus 1 or focus 2. There is no rule, right? There is no compulsory to focus. Sun is at focus 1 or Sun is at focus 2. Any one of the focus, the Sun is situated. Okay. Now, consider a position of the planet on the orbit. Let us consider any position. If you take any position on the orbit, consider a position of the planet on the orbit. From the focus 1, the distance of the planet I am taking as r1, and from focus 2, it is at a distance of r2. I am taking. It is at a distance of r2. Now add those two distances. I am getting a quantity r1 plus r2. I am getting a quantity r1 plus r2. Okay. Now consider another position of the planet on the orbit. Let us consider another position. Okay, this is another position I take in. Now this is my distance r1 from the focus 1 for that position. This is a distance r2 from that position, from focus 2 to this position of the planet. Again I am adding these two, I am getting same quantity r1 plus r2. Take another position like that. I am taking here, it is a position. Again this is my distance r1 from the focus 1. This is a distance r2 from the focus 2. Then again I am adding, I am getting the same quantity r1 plus r2. If you take different positions on the orbit, same, I am getting a same quantity, right, which is always constant in all positions on the orbit. The term r1 plus r2, the quantity, the value r1 plus r2 is always going to be constant at all the positions of the orbit. Okay. If you combine those all the positions, if you join or if you combine all those positions, I am getting the path of the orbit, I am getting like a ellipse. The shape of the orbit, I am getting like a ellipse. That is the resultant of all these points on the orbit gives a ellipse shape. Then we can say that all the planets are revolving around the sun in an elliptical path, in an elliptical orbit or a elliptical path. So that is Kepler's first law, and sun is situated at any one of the focus. Now we are going to discuss more concepts in a Kepler's first law. Very important concepts. Okay, that is. Now see here. Now, we know this is known as major axis and this is known as minor axis. Okay. It is the center of the ellipse. Now, this much is known as semi-major axis. From center to here is known as semi-major axis. The length of that semi-major axis I am taking as A. What is A? A is a length of semi-major axis. Length of semi-major axis. Right. This is I am taking as length of semi-minor axis as B. Okay, I am taking that as B. What is the B? Length of semi-minor axis. Therefore, what is the length of major axis? A plus A, 2A. What is the length of minor axis? It is a B, and also it is going to be B. It is also going to be B. Therefore, it is also going to be A. Therefore, the length of total length of the minor axis is 2b. The length of the major axis is 2a. I can say that here a is greater than b. The length of semi-major axis is more than the length of the semi-minor axis. A is greater than b. Here I am defining the term eccentricity. What is the use of eccentricity? Right? That is which separate the focuses in an ellipse. The eccentricity which separate the focus in an ellipse. So here eccentricity formula I am writing as eccentricity, which is nothing but a E, I am getting as 1 minus b square by a square. This is the formula of the eccentricity. And we know the equation of the ellipse is x square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1. X square by a square plus y square by b square is equal to 1 is the equation of the ellipse. Then what is the use of eccentricity in ellipse, sir? Okay. What is the use of the eccentricity means? The eccentricity is used to find the distance of the focus from the center. It is used to find the distance of the focus. See, it is a focus. It is a focus. So what is this distance? That distance we can define. We can find by using of eccentricity. We can define or we can find the distance of the focus from the center by using of eccentricity. So that value is always equal to AE. Okay, what is AE? AE is a distance of focus. Distance of focus from center. Okay, is equal to how much? AE. Right. See in the example, let us take one example. It is going to be very clear. That is one equation given: x square by 2 square plus y square by 1 square is equal to 1 given. Find the distance of the focus from the center. They are asking find the distance of the focus from the center. Now, what is this equation means? See, this is our equation. Okay, this is a 0, comma 0. This is a 2, comma 0. And it is going to be a 0, comma 1. Now, there is a focus. Now, we have to find the distance of the focus from the center. Now, if you compare this equation with the fundamental equation, that is A is equal I am getting as 2, B is equal I am getting as 1. I am going to find eccentricity value. That is, and also we know that A is greater than B. And this is 1 minus B square by A square. Then E is equal to, this is 1 square, 1 minus 1 square by 2 square. So I am getting root 3 by 2. E value I am getting as root 3 by 2. Then we have to find the distance of the focus. What is the distance of the focus? AE, that is equal to A value 2 into this is root 3 by 2, that is equal to root 3, which is nothing but 1.713. So mean this value is going to how much? Root 3. Root 3 comma 0 I can write as here. Root 3 comma 0 is a distance of the focus from the center. That is the use of the eccentricity. Eccentricity is used to find the distance of the focus from the center. Due to eccentricity only the focuses are separated in a ellipse. For example, in a circle. Okay. So what is eccentricity value? Eccentricity is 0. In a circle we know that. Okay. In a circle, right? It is a circle. The focus is at center. Eccentricity is 0. So therefore the values are same. A. Therefore the equation for the circle is x square plus y square is equal to a square. This is a circle. Okay. For circle, eccentricity is how much? Eccentricity is 0. For a circle, eccentricity is 0. But in a ellipse, eccentricity is not 0. Okay. Due to eccentricity only the focuses are separated. The use of the eccentricity is to find the distance of the focus from the center. That is about eccentricity use. Okay. Now, we are going to define, right, two terms. One is perihelion and ephelion. We are going to see the two terms in this Kepler's first laws. One is perihelion P and ephelion A. P for perihelion. Okay. What is perihelion and what is ephelion? What is a perihelion and what is ephelion? What is perihelion? If you observe, see, for example, the planet is here. I am taking the planet is here. At one position, the planet is here. If you observe the distance of the planet from the sun, it is my sun. It is the sun I am taking. Focus 1, the sun is situated. Now if you observe, the distance of the planet from the sun is very less, nearer. That distance is known as perihelion. The distance of the nearer distance of the planet from the sun. Now nearer distance of the planet from the sun is known as perihelion. Or we can say it is also known as perigee. We can say it is also known as perigee. Okay. What is perigee or perihelion? The distance of the planet from the sun, nearer distance. The nearer distance of the planet from the sun is known as perihelion. Now if you see from here to here, at one position the planet is here. At one position the planet is here. At one position. Now find the distance. It is greatest distance. It is a smaller distance or a nearer distance. It is a farther distance or a greatest distance of the planet from the sun is known as ephelion. What is a perihelion? It is a nearest distance. Nearest distance of the sun. Nearest distance of the planet from the sun is known as perihelion. What is ephelion? It is a greatest distance of the planet from sun. The greatest distance of the planet from the sun is known as ephelion, or we can say as apogee. Apogee also we can write. Okay. And the nearest distance of the planet from the sun is known as perihelion or perigee. Okay. Now see, this is a distance PS. Okay. That is P is nothing but a PS. This is the distance is known as perihelion. So PS is nothing but how much? PO minus SO. PO minus SO. Yes or no? See, PS is nothing but PO minus PS. Okay, PO minus SO. Okay. Now we know that the focus distance from the center is AE. This is called AE. Now substitute PO, P2O. What is the P2O? Length of the semi-major axis A minus SO, the distance of the focus from the center AE. Now if you take common A, this is 1 minus C. Clear? This is a perihelion formula. A into 1 minus C. A is what? Length of the semi-major axis. E is a eccentricity. Over. Now we are going to see aphelion. Greatest distance of the planet from the sun. Okay. What is aphelion? S to A, SA. Aphelion A is equal to SA, which is equal to, observe here, SA is nothing but S2O plus O2A. S2O plus O2A. Now S2O how much? AE. S2O how much? AE. That is AE plus O2A. O2A how much? A. Length of the semi-major axis. If you take A common, I am getting as 1 plus C. This is the length of the aphelion. Okay? Right. Perihelion or perigee, aphelion or apogee. Okay. Sir, when we have to use the terms perigee and when we have to use the terms apogee? When we have to use the terms perihelion and aphelion? Yes, there are two different kinds we have. That is, when we are taking a earth-moon system, we have to use the terms perigee and apogee. We have to use the terms perigee and apogee. Both are same meanings only, but for right. Next one is when we have to use this perihelion and aphelion, that is a Sun-Earth system. In a Sun-Earth system, we are going to use the terms perihelion and aphelion. Okay, both are same meanings, but just for differentiation purpose, when we have to use Earth-Moon system, perigee and apogee. Sun-Earth system, we have to use perihelion and aphelion. Okay, sir. When will happens this perihelion and when will happens aphelion? Means see, the sun, the planet is coming nearer to the sun. At what time? At what time it is? It will happen, sir. Means it is happens at 2nd of January. 2nd of January. 2nd January. So it is always happens at 2nd of July. 6 months difference is there. So in the January month, right? This perihelion will happen, that is Earth is coming closer to the sun. Now at the time of July, the Earth is going larger. At the distance between the Earth to the sun is going to be larger. Okay, this is total about Kepler's first law. Okay, is it clear? Now, thank you.